Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Modlite PLH version 2. Let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where in the first 30 seconds, give or take, I give you guys my exact thoughts on this product before we get into the full review. That way you guys can just stop watching because now you know exactly what I think, or you guys continue watching to find out why I say those things, and it does help with the YouTube algorithm. So for the Modlite, this has been a really good light, and I've been very happy with it. The durability and the battery life have been good. The light output is fantastic on it. I like the fact that it's really good indoors along with outdoors. I've heard that this is kind of the middle ground. Their OKW is more like the Candela Monster, where it has a lot more output for distance. This one is good for kind of like a middle ground. You know, if you want to do closer quarter stuff, indoor stuff, or if you really want to do outside as well, kind of mix the two. This is a really good middle ground light for them. And I've been really happy with it for both those things because this is my primary rifle and I use this for home defense. I have this with me most of the time, so I like having a light that can kind of do best of both worlds. I really like the fact that you can use your Surefire mounting solutions and tail caps. So if you have tape switch tail caps and the mounting stuff for your Surefires, it makes it a lot easier of a switch. So you don't necessarily have to buy all new stuff. You just have to buy the light. You can even just go with a head and throw this onto a Surefire body if you wanted to. I went with the whole body and minus the tail cap. I just got one of these tail caps from Surefire, but I really like the fact that you can still use all of your stuff that you probably already have or the stuff that most companies already make mounts and accessories for. Now let's get into my relationship with Modlite. I do talk with the company and I've discussed some things throughout this process with them, but they did not send this to me. I did spend my own money on this product. Now let's get into the full review. So with a light like this from a company like Modlite, I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard very little bad things about this company. But the only thing I've heard bad about this company wasn't even about their lights. It's about their social media team. Some people say they don't like how they are. It's just basically because they're blunt and they tell it how it is. And I just think they're not afraid to tell people what they think. And some people don't appreciate that, I guess. So that's about the only thing I've ever heard bad about this company, which is really good because I've had high expectations for this light. I wanted to get one earlier, but with all the other lights and things I was testing at that time, it just wasn't a good time for me to pick one up. So I'm glad I did pick one up, and I'm really happy the fact that I ended up getting one because I'm really happy with how this light has performed. The durability of this light has been good. I haven't done any actual durability tests where I'm dropping the thing or throwing it down, but my normal wear and tear, I've switched this between 3 different rifles, and the normal testing I do, I have not had any issues. As most of you know, I'm not super nice with my guns, and I like to get some real world testing on these products for you guys so you guys can see how durable they are. And this one I've not had any issues with, which is nice. If that changes down the road and I have any issues, I'll make sure to update you guys and let you know, probably on my Instagram channel. But other than that, this has been a good light durability wise. I've seen some other channels do some drop tests and they've shot them with sim rounds and other stuff, and they haven't had any problems either, so I don't see why I'd have any issues as well. Battery life has been really good with it so far. It's kind of hard for me to give you a really accurate idea of time-wise, like it's lasted 3 hours exactly, because I do a lot of either just showing it off or I'll go through and do some training and go outside and do night shoots. So it's kind of hard to tell you exactly how long it's been on, but I've charged it a couple times. It's got rechargeable battery, which I really like, and I think almost all light companies should be going with nowadays. I don't think there's any reason you should not be going with that, with the nicer chargers that are out there now and the fact that you can just make a nicer battery. So I think it's kind of a must, especially in my mind for lights, and I think a lot of companies are going that route, and I'm happy that they are. So you have that rechargeable battery in there, so it makes it a little easier. When you're done, you can just throw it on the charger and then get back out there and keep using it. So now for the light output, which is what everyone probably really wants to know. It has 13,500 lumens, and this has 54,000 candela. So I'm really happy with those numbers. The OKW has more candela. I believe it's in the 60,000s, maybe a little higher. For me, I'm really happy with those numbers for the type of shooting that I do. I don't do much shooting over 250, 300 yards, and this has done everything that I needed it to and the stuff that I've done. Depending on who you are and what you're looking for, you might want to look at the other options that they have. But for me, this has been a really good light because the stuff that I think I'm going to be doing in the area that I'm at and where I use this rifle, I think the ranges are going to be closer within that 100-yard range, and this does a really good job for that. Now, for those of you that don't care about the numbers or really know what they mean, I'm going to show you guys some B-roll here of the light output. Unfortunately, with cameras, it's really hard to actually pick up what I'm seeing, so just know what you're seeing on the camera is not nearly as good as what I'm seeing with my naked eye. So I'll show you some B-roll here with the M600DF from Surefire because I think that's really what a lot of these lights compete with. And I think it's a good comparison because a lot of people know what a Surefire's output looks like, so you can kind of make a better comparison that way. We'll start with the Surefire first. Right there to that tree is 90 yards. Painting over the tree line there is about 210 yards away. And I can see the trees, but on the camera it's really hard to bring it out. So where the deer are, that's about 170 yards. And then right here is 20 yards. And then about that fence is just shy of 100 yards. Now for the Modlite, there's your 90 yards to the tree. And then now you can see the tree line a lot better at 210. This pattern is much better for longer distances. And the deer is about 170, 175. And again, same thing like the Surefire. The camera doesn't pick it up nearly as good as I'm seeing it. And 20 yards away, the bugs are killing me. Things are attacking me. And then just shy of 100. I went with the mod button for this setup because I like how small it is, really simple, easy to use. The only downfall I don't really like is I don't like the fact that the cable's out here. I'm gonna have to figure something out to do with that. I really like having all my wires and stuff really close, so I'll probably wrap that or something. I'm not a big fan of zip ties because I don't like zip ties on my gun because I think it looks kind of silly. So I'm gonna find a way to get that all wrapped up tight in there and make sure it's out of the way. But other than that, I really like this button. It works really well for this setup because it's small, really close, and I try to keep everything as compact as possible on this because it's kind of bulky up front here because of the laser. Something new I'm testing here from HoloSun, but that kind of keeps everything a little bit more small and compact and not so bulky for the front of this gun. And like I said in the 30-second breakdown, this is all Surefire compatible, so all of your tail caps, mounting solutions, and buttons all work for your Modlite, so that is really cool. So I do have other switches that I could use, or I think Unity Tactical makes a different type of button that I was actually looking into, but they're sold out at the time, so that's why I ended up going with this one. So there are a lot of different options you can go with when it comes to actually buttons. You could stick with just the push tail cap if you want, and it'd be a little cheaper of an option, but me personally, I like having pressure pads because if my grip's already here, it's just easy to be able to press that. And then for this setup, I can rotate up here if I need to use my laser. So I had some pretty high expectations for this light, and it's pretty much met all of them. I've heard so many good things about it. I really just had to get my hands on one and try it, and it's met everything that I really thought it was going to be, and that makes me happy. I figured it would. I wasn't too worried because of the fact that everybody is so into these lights, into this company, but I just really wanted to see for myself. I had this for a while now. I wanted to get a review out sooner, but I really wanted to make sure this review was done right, and I had enough rounds through it that I was comfortable giving you guys my full thoughts, and I think I have a really good feel for this light, and I'm very comfortable with it right now, and I'm very happy to have this here on my primary gun, and I'm comfortable with it being here. Originally, I had the Cloud Defensive Owl on here. Really like that light as well. I have a review on that, and that is another light that I trusted to have on this, because this being my primary rifle, I don't put anything that I'm just like, you know, I kind of like it, it's been good or whatnot, you know, it's something that I'm a little bit iffy about. The stuff that I actually trust and use, that's why I have everything on the gun that is on here right now. That should say something to you for the fact that this is on my primary gun and I trust my life with this gun and the products that are on it. Now for some downfalls. Number one, and most of you probably already know this is coming, the price. The price is really high for this light. You're looking at $280 if you're gonna take off the tail cap and the charger, which is what I did because I didn't need the charger because I already have a couple really nice chargers, and I had no use for the tail cap because I already have a bunch of those push tail caps downstairs sitting around doing nothing. So I just already had one of these, so I threw that one on there. So about $280 for that, but if you want everything, you're looking about $310. So it is expensive. I know a lot of people are gonna look at it and be like, holy cow, like that's a lot of money. And it is. $300 for a light is expensive, but again, you are getting what you pay for. Buy once, cry once. If you buy a $100 light and you decide you don't want it, and then you buy this anyway, you're gonna be spending $100 than what you could have spent if you would have just bought this in the first place and been happy with it. So I know you will not have any regrets if you purchase this, but the price is pretty high. But other than that, there really isn't too many other complaints that I have with this light. The only other thing that I'd like to see is maybe like some cable management with this mount. I know it's really small and kind of hard to do anything with it, but that's about the other only thing that I noticed that I really like having is being able to keep my cables really tight and close to my gun. So with all that being said, would I buy this again and would I recommend it? Yes, I would buy this again, and I definitely do recommend it. I'm actually probably going to end up buying the OKW or their handheld because I would like to do some testing on that and see the differences between them, maybe compare the two so I can see which one works best for me, and I can give you guys an idea of which one you should buy between the two if you are on the fence. The fact that this light is on the gun that I trust my life with should say a lot because there's only a handful of companies that I trust that be on this gun. Because this is the gun that if I ever need to use to protect my family, my kids, and my wife with, this is going to be it. So I don't just throw certain things on this just to do it. This is the gun I built specifically out of products that I've tested that I absolutely 100% trust with my life. So I do trust my life with this light, and I think it is a very solid choice if this is something you guys are looking for. I've tested a lot of lights from multiple different companies like Surefire, Streamlight, Cloud Defensive, Olight, Enforce, and some others, and this is definitely one of the top out there that I have personally used. I would like to do a video later on after I've done even more testing and kind of see what is my top, kind of give you guys like a top 5 of what I would go with, but this one is definitely up there towards that #1 spot. If you guys want to help out the channel and the things that I do here, there are a couple ways to do that. Down in the description, there are some discount codes from companies that I trust that you can use. And then there's a link to my website. From there, there's other links to Brownells, Aero Precision, Palmetto State Armories, and multiple other companies. Using those links does help out the company and shows those companies that I'm generating traffic. So if you do that, I appreciate it. If not, I just appreciate you guys being here, liking, sharing, and subscribing. All that helps out a ton. Another company that's helped me a ton is Howitzer. Absolutely love these guys and the things they do. They donate 5% of proceeds to charity. Really love their clothing and their brand and the things that they do. They got pants, hats, shirts, sweatshirts, tons of other stuff on their website. So there's a link down in the description for them as well. Another company is TA Targets. Absolutely love these guys and the things this company stands for. They make very high quality targets and I use them at my range, and that's about the only targets that I like to use. So you can use code Tactical Advisor and save 10% off your order there if you would like. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. And if you guys have any more questions about any other setups that I have, I would like to go through this entire gun and give you guys an overview of everything. I'll probably do that here later on. I've got a video coming shortly over night vision, the pros and cons, if it's worth the money, and then I've got a review video on this coming very soon, and then the actual PPS 14 that I'm using as well. So I got a lot of night vision stuff coming here very shortly. Now that school's over, I was able to get out and actually do a lot more testing than I was able to previously with school because of my hours, but now I'm a lot more freed up. The new job's starting here very soon, and I'll be good to go to get these videos made for you guys. So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you all.